Welcome to my new Let's Play video. My name is Ivica. This is Hearthstone. We're gonna be playing my new regular deck, which is Kobolds and Catacombs Midrange Hunter. I'm having a difficult time saying this because my brain is slowly lagging. But anyway, before we get into the match, I'm going to show you the deck real fast. I wanted to talk to you about a phenomenon that I'm seeing brewing a bit here. So this is my mid-range Frozen Hunter. I didn't rename it still, but I'm going to. So let's just take a quick look. But while I play and show you the deck, let's show the deck first. So mid-range Frozen Hunter. You can see the deck here. So nothing special. It's basically a version of the mid-range Hunter deck from the olden days that I kind of tried to adapt with my own cards, my own changes, small changes to be honest. But it's sort of semi-successful, as we're going to see. Yeah, you see rank 19, nothing really to write home about. But let's see how it performs now. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you about something completely different. It's the idea of swatting. You probably saw that a man got arrested because he produced or participated, or is alleged to have participated in a process where he, because of an altercation in Call of Duty, called the police for some complete stranger.
You asked for it.
Not for some, but to accuse a complete stranger of having a hostage situation. To make matters worse, a SWAT team or a police team, who knows, maybe it wasn't even a SWAT team, arrive at the location, which is kind of half the everything is happening in the US, it's a US phenomenon, still. Arrive at the location, the man opened his door, he didn't know what's going on. He had no idea that something is going on. He reached for his waistband and the police shot him. A police officer shot him single time, but the shot was fatal and the man died later on. Now, it appears they were playing Call of Duty and the losing part, there was some kind of a bet or an argument. This is all still not corroborated by anyone so far. The losing side accused the victim of something, like not going through a bet or a wager. There was some kind of an argument, and this resulted in swatting, in calling the police. So the result ended up being super serious, super tragic, and really a huge media story, because this wasn't the first time swatting occurred. You know, there were other situations when similar things happened, but with not so dire consequences. Now, when this occurred, the mainstream media latched onto it like they always do when it comes to gaming, and any kind of a gaming situation that's problematic or scary or potentially dangerous. This has it all. I'm going to take this volume down a notch. Oh, on the other side. Yeah, this is much better. For some reason I have to like yell at my phone. Yeah, so the news is all over the place. Everybody is like having their own version of how tragic and pointless and weird this is. Even the online gaming portal that was used to play the Call of Duty, and that included the alleged wager, also had their kind of let's call it a statement, where they said, oh, this is a tragic event, we're really sorry that everything happened, but we're cooperating with the investigation and so forth. Which is expected and fine. But the problem is, again, the focus is shifting. This isn't a gaming phenomenon, it's just a thing that people do occasionally, but it's not like thousands or hundreds or even tens of individuals, dozens, let's not call it tens, dozens of individuals are contacting the police on false pretenses and bring the SWAT team to their door. It happened occasionally, and it's wrong. It's really wrong. No one should do that. It's a felony. They should be investigated and found guilty. They should be fined and everything else. There has to be some kind of a legal and a result for all this. That's negative for the person falsely accusing somebody of a crime. But the problem is that this gets automatically connected to the gaming community, and it somehow becomes a thing that people in the gaming community do, which isn't true. And it's the same as any other person calling the cops on somebody for no reason. It's a crime. It's really wrong that people do it, but it's not endemic to any particular group. More than I at least believe, more than anyone else, because otherwise it's not like that a huge, as I said, a huge number of gamers does the same. No, it's those people who do it have clearly some kind of a problem, because millions and millions play online shooters or competitive shooter or multiplayer shooter games or first-person shooter games that are not competitive and online. So the problem is that the connection becomes like this, something of in this.
An incredible discovery.
Let's call it in this mental range. So you're playing first-person shooters, which include guns and everything. Clearly you're into guns and into shooting people. That's why you call the police on somebody who then gets murdered by the police. And here again the big problem is the police brutality and the I'm taking this back. It's not police brutality. It's the idea of the police acting unproportionally to situations that are not that dangerous. Why did he have to be murdered? Why did he have to die? We are never provided with an explanation by the police department which says, oh yeah, the problem was that he acted menacingly or he did something apart from reaching for his waistband, which is a bigger issue of police training and police responses in any kind of a situation that isn't completely clear. So there are a lot of police shootings in the US, we know everything about it. But the story does not focus on that in most of the media reports. It focuses on the idea of people playing a stupid game and getting killed because of it. And simply, this isn't a situation like that. A person with some kind of a problem did this, which is a really wrong thing to do. There has to be repercussions, but this isn't a showcase or any valid measure representation of a problem inside of the gaming community. Even in the Call of Duty or first-person shooter gaming community, where the idea of swatting began. So, once more, the focus is placed on the most plastic, the most obvious thing. It's like they were playing a game and someone died. But for me, it's not a valid point to make in this context, or I mean any other context. It's the idea of this person who called the police and made up the entire story could have been any other profession, any other demographic. He could have been a senior citizen. So I bet there are a lot of senior citizens that also call the police on false pretenses, and that's wrong. They shouldn't do that. But once again, we're not able to say, okay, senior citizens clearly have a problem. They're calling the they're calling the cops on their friends and neighbors, and they're jeopardizing and okay, not enough mana. Let's take out Bleach. They're jeopardizing the community, so we need to do something about the senior citizens who do this. Again, I think the media focuses on the idea of the game because it sells the story. It provides something of a context. It's just not two people had an altercation. One of them called the police. The other person ended up dead. The context is they played a game and now somebody died. Which game is it? Is it the game of death? Did somebody play the horrible game of death and ended up being killed? Okay, I'm seeing that my opponent is stacking probably those don't die. Revive yourself cards, but no worries. I have it covered, hopefully. So, it's pathetic to, not pathetic, it's a bit melodramatic to say that I'm saddened to see these stories appear again and again, but I guess that's only the way we have to. Okay, now ice block, didn't die, survived. Okay, now let's take out the. Okay, I'm going to place my. Okay. I'm going to place my Scavenging Hyena here, and also my Bear Shark, which is, by the way, an excellent card. Anyway, yeah. So I think that it's the duty of anyone connected to the gaming world. I'm connected to it with multiple strains. Oh, okay. I win this one. Yay! To provide a counter perspective to this. People should not call the police when there isn't a crime. That's a crime in itself. But when they do, they shouldn't be judged according to the things they do. They should be judged according to the person they are. So if you do that, you are creating a crime. There's no pattern, there's no trend. The idea that the media or the community even created a name for that does not mean that this happens all of the time. It happens sometimes. So, it's a terrible tragedy. It shouldn't have happened, but again, individuals are responsible for that, not the game or not the gaming environment in which this takes place, because certainly the Call of Duty gaming community is not open or welcoming to the idea of people placing other people in jeopardy by making up crimes they didn't commit. That's my take on the Call of Duty swatting hoax that ended in a tragedy. I would love to hear what you think about it, so please leave a comment and let me know. My name is Ivica, thank you so much for watching. Like always, why not subscribe? There will be plenty of videos like this incoming. Until that new incoming video, thank you so much for watching and bye bye.